There you go. Awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. What's up, guys? And if you can't notice, we got the man himself, our special guest, Conell Loveless, with owner and coach of Team Revolution. How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing great. Let me start off with saying, man, I'm a little shocked that I'm on, but it's a good shock because, hey, guys, you guys have a lot of great guests and everything, and there's so many other people that's done so much with our sport that, you know what, just the opportunity to come on is like pretty cool, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Hey,
Well,
thank you.
I'm
We have a lot of fun
off
doing
that
this.
comment because for me, if the podcast reached 12 people, that's all I wanted it to do.
True.
Really.
Yeah.
To just somehow do something, be a voice that the competitors or just people within the sport would know, like, and want to be around, right? If I can be a mouthpiece other than just my own, because I got no problem with that.
That's it, right? Yeah.
That's right.
But I'm gonna say this, and one of our sayings, guys, we've got a couple of sayings. One is, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right? And if you treat it like a sprint, the ups and downs of your success is going to destroy you, right? Some guys, that's how they look at it. I don't look at it like that. I look at, man, this thing that we're in, it's a marathon. When you think about how long you guys have been in this, right? You think about how long you've been in this, right? And I'm not even talking about when you finally reach the level of success in competition or whatever, but the years before that, right? The ankles and the this and the that and whatever, that nobody really understands that story behind all of that, because all they see is Alex Demon and Jeff and OG and those type of things. Guys, they don't understand, man, we've been in this thing for a good little while. The second thing, and this is probably one of the most important things, and we're going to talk about it a few times.
Yes, sir.
Is when Alex, you said, man, if I get 12 people looking, I think we're doing good and I'm successful. And I'm going to tell you this, and you know this, both you guys know this. When you don't think people are looking, people are looking. One of our sayings.
Oh, for sure.
And I tell you this because I'm going to get into a couple stories, but you never know who's watching. And Alex, you know this. Well, actually, both of you guys know this. There are comments that you guys have made and said and whatever, that the reaction you would think was like, okay, no big deal, we get over it. And the next thing you know, somebody's got you in your DM, they're making that phone call, this, that, and whatever. And so
I had a few.
Correct? So I'm saying to you, your message and the things that are being said and talked about and whatever, they resonate. Whether some people take it one way and others take it another way, it resonates and it starts conversation. And dialogue is so key to everything. So
and kind of, I think one of the things is, of course, we can't make everyone happy. We have different opinions. We try to put out the best that we can. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is, people can tell when it's passionate, right? When it's something we care about. And that's the thing, you know, because, you know, even if they may not agree with me, you know, I've said some wild things like Alex keeps bringing up, you know, Jeff's one judge idea. That was not actually my idea. You remember?
Nope.
You've heard.
I was there. I was there, Alex.
Wait.
We were at an NBL judges meeting, and Boyce Lydell was like, you know what? I know this is far ahead of the game. This is so forward thinking. He says, but I think we could get to a point where you could have one single judge. And that would be the one judge. They're qualified, everything else, to make those decisions, so you don't have the ups and downs of scores and different things like that. And I'll never, like, guys, we can say what we want to say. First and foremost, Jeff and I, former promoters in NBL, we can say what we want to say. Maybe some things weren't done the way it could have been, the opportunities that were there. I mean, the growth, some of the stuff was so forward thinking, but I mean, a lot of the stuff that the NBL did, it was very good for our sport. The problem was the growth wasn't there at certain times when it should have been.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll give you that. I think what I'll give you on that is that when you look at on paper what the NBL, that's all. Andrew's right. Yeah, look at this. Tunes in, Conell immediately talk about NBL. Right.
That's an inside joke.
That's Andrew.
Because I, full transparency, was never an NBL fan. But here's where I will say that when you look at what the NBL has on paper, it just makes total sense, right? It makes total sense. Now, there's some application things that I feel like, all right, there's some things here that we need to tweak with this. And listen, we don't need to go over all of them because there's a lot. Listen, over the last couple of years, hasn't everybody been like, bring the NBL back, bring the NBL back? I think it's every day. Don't we see something like that?
Yeah.
So, there's a whole big thing. There's a whole big thing today that talked about it, about the NBL and different things like that. But to your point, Alex, yes, there are some things. I don't care what league is out there. Don't care. There's no perfect league. There's always room for improvement and different things like that. And we can talk about how we can improve those things. We've got to make sure that people are listening. And one thing I will give you, and Jeff will tell you this, we had the different areas and different things like that. But one thing was sure, and that is every NBL promoter supported each other, regardless of the relationship or whatever. They supported one of each other. We band together. There are things that happen at all of our tournaments, but every one of the promoters was there. The other big thing was making sure that you listen to the customer. To me, that's the most important thing, listening to the customer, right? So,
and there's a few other things in there. Like there's a few rules that were like, okay, come on, you can't have a hard line like that. And then you got to go, all right, well, then we've got to look at different ways. Like, what does that look like? Right. And so I think that's why I was saying, like, on paper, it just makes total sense. But then once you see it in real life, right, you go, oh, this maybe doesn't work. You know what? I'll say it like this. Wise man once told me, he said, you know what? You hire, and this doesn't really apply to martial arts or tournaments. He says, you know what? You hire employees and then people show up to work. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? And he goes, you think you're getting this, in the box employee, but then you realize we're all just people. Everybody's flawed. So where you thought you were going to get this perfect system, like you guys just throw that out the window. There is no such thing as perfect outside of Jesus. So that ain't happening. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
By the way, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I need a little bit more of Jesus because I tell you what, I am so sick. My whole house. Sick. My daughter.
Jeff, all we can do is just shake her head, right? That's all you can do is shake her head.
I love it.
My daughter hasn't been to school all week. My son was begging me to put him to bed like an hour and a half, 2 hours earlier than he normally goes to bed.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like, and then my baby boy, every moment of the day, he's just upset. Right.
It's been a rough week of sickness. Yeah.
That's it, right? No, I
understand. It's wild. So I'm gonna tell you. So here's why I bring it up, because I was sipping on something, right? So this just sounds ridiculous to be sipping on. You're feeling like this, right? You ever have somebody who tells you something, gives you some advice, like, "Oh, you should do this," and you're like, "That could quite possibly be the dumbest thing I've ever heard." But then when they explain it, it makes you go like, "Maybe I'm the dumb one," right? So I'll never forget this. It was probably the sickest I've ever been in my entire life, right? This is like, I don't know, like 2003, something like that. Right. I had a student, she was from a border town in Mexico, and I'm like so sick. And she's like, oh, have some tequila. And I'm like, excuse me, what did you say?
What?
She's like, oh yeah, you need some tequila. And I'm like, no
way.
I do not need tequila. She goes, think about it. You have a ton of bacteria and germs. I'm like, well, clearly. She's like,
right.
You need the alcohol to kill all that bacteria. I'm like, you know what?
You're onto something?
Not
totally
wrong.
Right? So, right? Hey, I like that tequila idea. I'm only bringing this up because
I knew this was coming up.
I was in the airport coming from Mexico, and I had on my Revolution stuff, right? And the person at the duty free says, come in. I'm like, I'm good. They said, hey, listen, we have Revolution tequila.
Stop.
I'm like, well, wait, I should show you Revolution. So you know me, Jeff, you know me. The moment I saw it, I'm looking for their corporate office. I'm trying to get in touch. How you guys doing? We're Revolution. We're 50-something competitors. We're in 9 different countries. I just think it would be a nice idea if you would like to sponsor us and everything else.
Oh, there you go.
Revolution tequila. And I did put in there for adults only though. So
yeah.
It would only
awesome.
be
Wait, is it nearby you? Is it nearby you right now?
Yeah.
The bottle?
1 second. Oh, you want to?
Yeah.
Oh.
I totally want to see this thing.
Of course, we have to see this.
There's no way we could do the rest of the show without seeing this bottle. We will stop.
Wait, I got it.
Until we see this.
Bam!
Oh, Revolution. There we go. I like it.
Pretty cool. And then you guys could get your own signature one, and the letters would just be neon green. That would
there
be
you go. That's all I'm saying. It was funny because we were actually looking at getting some and all, and I can only get it at the duty free, but I contacted them trying to get them to send some up. But again, I'm always looking at opportunities and different things. I mean, something like that. And
let's use that as a segue. Because
yeah, exactly. So
go ahead.
Let's talk about just the beginning of Team Revolution from the very beginning. Or let's do that. We'll get into the other thing before that, or after that, or somewhere in between. Who knows? All right, Team Revolution. So, when did this start, my friend?
So, actually, I first met you guys when I was running my my instructor's team. It was Team Ki.
Right.
And so I was running that team. Matter of fact, when I started getting into tournaments and different things, I was still running his team. But again, it started blowing up. A lot of people didn't like the fact that I was a promoter and I really didn't own the team. But my instructor was done with the competing thing. Right. And so this was something that I was competing, my daughter, my son, and a lot of the students wanted to compete. And so I asked him, can I start the team? He says yes. And then I had a couple local tournaments. I thought that, you know what, I need to start getting some international, national competition. And then that's when the third year I joined the NBL. And then 2000,
right. So,
in
2000, 11.
Yeah, yes, 11.
Right.
11, yes. Yep.
Yeah, I know it was in Sacramento was the first year that I think you judged it at Super Grounds.
So, yes, working those crazy hours.
Yes.
Yeah, let's not talk about Super Grands and crazy because we can talk about 2,000 years.
Sacramento?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey,
it was nice. Hey, listen, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. It really was. So after a few years, my sensei says, you know what? I want to just stop the team. And the cool thing was one of the parents started looking for me a location, and they found a location at a gymnastics school in 2014. So next April will be 10 years of the Revolution.
Okay, now that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Now, real quick, and I want to stay a lot on it. What ended up happening was, Jeff, you knew Emma Levy and Meg.
Yeah.
So I started the team, and we went to a Jerry Roberts tournament, 5-knuckle bullet tournament.
Right.
And we were there. And as you notice, even now, one of my things is our culture. And that culture is, if we're at a tournament, whoever's competing, we're at their ring, we're screaming, we're clapping, and everything else.
Well, that is apparent.
Meg, yes. Meg and Emma said, "Hey, Conell, you know what? How come you didn't invite me on your team?" And I'm like, "You guys are like junior world champions. Why would you want to be on my team?" And he says, "We just look at the way you guys are together, and we would like that." And I started thinking, I'm going to start to go to more tournaments, and we see a lot of individuals by themselves. And I just thought, let me invite. So we were almost just a band of misfits or whatever, if you want to call it that. And that's basically how we grew. And our culture is still the same since 2014. We're all for one, one for all. We're cheering. No tolerance for jealousies or anything like that. And you can see it. Any tournament you see us at, it's a sea of green, and we're all together. We're laughing, cheering, and it's kind of infectious, right?
Yeah.
It is. So
now that green's kind of changed a little bit. It's gotten a little bit brighter over the years. Let's just kind of say it wasn't that bright in the beginning. Okay.
What did it look like before?
It was just
green. It was a regular green.
A regular green.
It was just a regular green, and it's gotten brighter and it stands out. The great thing is, like, even the information that you put out for this show, when you take a look at all of us together, we stand out, right?
Yeah,
so
big time.
Yeah, it's got a little bit. Yeah, it's got a little bit brighter.
That's
the growth. That's the growth, right? You got to keep on pushing, right?
So, Conell, a couple of people that maybe were on the team in the beginning that I think really sparked. You already mentioned one, Emma Levy. Just explain that relationship, because she was one of the first ones that took the name to the high level, winning overall grands or getting close to battling Gina Thornton several times. She's a dang good fighter.
Yes, she was. So actually, I'm so glad that you brought that up. She and her dad did a mixed teams with Anthony Merrick's in, was it Charlotte? Not Charlotte. Oh, I think it was Myrtle Beach or wherever. At Super Grands. And they were our first Team Revolution world title winners. So
at Charleston.
Charleston, yes. Thank you. Yes.
One of those. Maybe it's Hilton.
Yes. Yes. So they won the first one. They have been supporting, right? They have been supporting, like I said, the story of being a part of it. And a number of Canadians, through Trevor Nash and Duvris and those guys, you know what? Asking their permission, they agreeing, making sure that we took care of them. So it really, the international started with the Canadians. They were the very first ones.
They were the first.
Well, because geographically, you're pretty close.
Correct.
To the Canadian side. But you're in Michigan. So
I'm in Michigan, right? Yes.
Whereabouts in Michigan are you at?
I'm probably 5 miles from Detroit. I'm in the suburbs.
You don't have to say where. We don't need no one knocking on your door.
Oh, listen. Listen, what's really cool is this. It's cool and it's not cool. You've gotten to a level. You guys, all of us gotten to a level now. If anybody would know where I'm at, they can Google my name. It'll come up.
Right? Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Oh man, how did her name just fly out of my head? One of the other Canadians that I felt like
Tressa Young.
Yes, Tressa Young. Thank you. Tressa Young was like a leader, a captain in the very beginning of Revolution. Explain just that relationship, and just for people that don't know, how great of a competitor she was.
And pause real quick before you do that. Maybe I missed it, but tell me the year Revolution really started, when it was just you, and then now it's just you taking it over. What year are we in?
2014.
2014. So we're about to.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I might have missed that.
Yeah. 2014. That was man. That was a great time. It was a scary time too, because I'm out on my own. I'm opening a school. I did have the benefit of being in a there was a building connected to a gymnastics, so it was an easy, feeder into the karate program. So that helped. But to Jeff's question, Tressa Young was friends with my daughter Noelle, and Tressa probably, and if you don't know her, man, right now Tressa is still part of Team Revolution, just to let you know. And right now she's a stunt woman on Titans.
Right.
The TV series Titans. She's probably the most decorated person in WKC history.
Yep.
I remember one year, I believe she won like 12 gold medals.
Dude,
and maybe one silver or something. Yeah. There was like no division she didn't do. Like Correct. No division. I think she was a long time ago. I think at one point she was one of the first people that won like WKC, NASCA, NBL, and I think there was another organization all in the same year.
Right.
Probably WKU.
Right in the beginning. Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. She's so talented.
Yeah, she's definitely talented. Super talented. And just was a great spark for you to kick that team off, really, because she was on that first year, 2014, and won her title that year at NBL at the Super Grands in Buffalo. So definitely someone who really helped push that towards the next level. So awesome, man. Awesome. So what is it with Revolution? Like right now we joke it's the biggest team there is numbers wise, but also we know you're there. What?
Yeah, you could have three people and we know you were there.
Yeah. What are we, because again, this didn't happen overnight. And like you said, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Just explain that concept of kind of how we got here and just your patience with all this.
So the coolest thing, one of the coolest questions that someone asked me, probably about a month ago. Did you envision this? Was this all part of the plan? And the answer is absolutely yes. And I'm going to tell you guys why. So I believe, and all of us, when we're instructing people in different things, we are trying to make a difference in their lives. It's not just about the kicking and punching, because you're going to take care of that. As instructors, we're going to take care of the kicking and punching, but it's the things that we help them to become better people, right? And I'll give you an example of the reach and the touch that this Team Revolution thing has had. We were, again, there was a lot of criticism. Jeff knows, he heard whatever. There's so much criticism and put downs and overrated and a glorified local team, and what is he trying to do, and why be on the team if you're not sponsored, and this and that and all. But no one ever knew that it wasn't about those type of things for me. It was about me having an opportunity and this thing that we do to help people and to give them hope and purpose and different things like that. And when I say hope and purpose, imagine being at a tournament by yourself and you're at a ring and somebody's on the team and you're competing against this person and everybody's yelling and screaming for them. And then you get up to compete and your parent is the one clap. Right. That's the thing where I wanted to make a difference. I'm going to tell you, we put a couple more juniors on our team, and to show you the impact of what we do, not me, what we do to pull somebody to the side and tell their parents and tell them, you know what, we like to offer you a spot on Team Revolution. I hope that you guys accept. We've looked at you. We've watched how your parents, and then to watch those people, guys, imagine to watch people crying because they have an opportunity to be a part of us, right? I mean, that's to me, that is so amazing. It is so amazing that they feel that great, that passion and honor to be a part of us. So that's where we've gone and touched. And I'm going to give you two little quick things. We were in Vegas. And going back to what I said about you never know who's watching, we're in Vegas. A guy comes up. I thought he had a German accent. He said, oh, hello. I know who you are. And I'm like, oh, how you doing? Great.
That was a horrible German accent.
Yeah,
it was. It really was. Right? It was. So, but he says, hey, I know who you are and all. I just want you to know we follow you. And I'm like, oh, great. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And he says, we know who Kim Bruning is. So Kim Bruning is one of our team members in Germany. And so I'm thinking
time out. What did you say? Yeah. A team member in Germany?
Yeah.
We're in like 9 countries. But let me finish. Wow. Let me finish. I'll get to that one. I'll get to that one. I'll get that. Okay. So he comes because you'll see where I'm going. So he says that, you know what, I bring everybody over at the Super Show. Let's take pictures and all. We actually gave the daughter a private lesson and different things, cool. and all, because the guy comes up, says he knows us. And so then I ask him, I'm like, hey, so where are you guys from? Right? I'm assuming you guys are from Germany. And he says, no, we're from the Czech Republic.
Wow.
Blows me away. And I'm like, are you serious? Czech Republic? He says, yes, we follow you. We know, a lot of people know Team Revolution. Blew me away. Last story, and then go back to you never know who's watching. We're at Diamonds. I'm walking down the hall. Edgar's walking a little bit behind, but he's with me, right? Guy comes up, he says, hey, I know who you are. I'm like, oh, hey, thank you. You're Team Revolution. I shake his hand, and we know who you are. Edgar comes up. Oh, I know who you are. Edgar, I know. We follow you. And I didn't know. I said, so where are you from? He says, we're from Alaska.
Like what?
We're from Alaska. And I'm like, you're following us? He says, we know all of you guys. It was something. Again, I'm bring people together. Let's take pictures. I had Revolution dog tags. I gave each one of their competitors a Revolution dog tag. And so later on in the night, I'm sitting on the couch, and a mom is sitting with a kid, and she says, hey, sir, again, thank you. I just want you to know how much we follow you and different things. And let me just tell you, she says, my son's dream is to one day to wear the green and be on Team Revolution.
That's awesome.
To hear that, guys, so that you can understand what we're doing and what we're about. For somebody to tell little old me that their kid's dream is to be on our team. I mean, So if I sound a little emotional right now, it's because
pretty dang dope.
Yeah,
it is something, and it's a humbling type of thing that I don't take for granted. None of that. I've made sure that talking to the team, I put some things in place that if anything ever happened, God forbid, I know that the revolution will go on.
Right. And you're getting a ton of love in the comments right now.
Yeah, man.
By the way,
love it.
You're getting a ton of love in the comments right now.
Oh no. It's it's sincere. It's heartfelt. I would hate if something happened and this thing didn't go on. But we've got the culture. I got the coaches. I got the captains. We've got numerous people in place to do things to keep this thing going. And awesome. I see so much in the future for us, and we can talk about the next level when you guys are ready. But so that's how it's happened. it's such a wonderful thing. I hope that we've set a standard that other teams can follow. And it's so cool. Jeff knows this. I've gotten a chance to meet so many different other team owners to talk about what we can do to make it better. And I know some other people, when I was on the come up, I'll ask them questions. I don't want to tell you. And you know what? Because you're a competitor. But the thought becomes, how do we grow the sport if we don't have other teams, if we don't have other people? I'll give you a perfect example. Shit, I sat down with who's your guy? Jeff from Heartland?
Wesley.
I sat down with Wesley. We're like 11 o'clock at night in the lobby of Diamonds talking about how to grow and what can I do, Conell, and things like that. You know, and I've sat and I've talked to Legend. I talked to Tony. I've talked to Mr. Leclerc and those type of other team owners and all, right? To talk about what can we do to change the sport. I'll give you a perfect example of changing the sport. There's a coaches meeting with all the different teams, and we've had meetings to talk about how do we grow the sport and how do we communicate to the NASCAR promoters on some of the things we like to see. And guess what? They listened. Next thing you know, if you notice, every tournament you're seeing all of the prize money, right? There's no hiding of the prize money. It's coming up. They talked about people falling off of the stage, Alex, and you know about this, with the stage being smaller and not enough mats on and whatever. Guess what? They listen. Stage is bigger. Mats are spread out. And not only on the stage, but even in the black belt rings that's on the floor, right? And so instead of, we can always talk about the negative and this and that. But when you start talking about ideas and you start talking about opportunities and moving forward, those are the things that help our sport grow and move to where we need it to be. Right?
Correct. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, one thing, where did the name come from? And say this, and then I'll say my comment. But
to be honest with you, when I left my sensei school,
be honest, you were a Prince fan.
That's what I was going to say. You're a Prince fan, right?
You're a Prince fan, and you liked Prince and the Revolution. That's what it was. You know what I mean?
That's funny. That's funny, but that would be true if our colors were purple.
You could change it.
But you always say the newest member of the Revolution, not Team Revolution, the Revolution, which I love that,
And if you watch Purple Rain, man, go back and watch Purple Rain. This is a fantastic
movie.
Listen. That's what they call it.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys something. I think we're gonna end up having some theme music, and I think we're gonna break it out in January.
Okay, cool.
That's an exclusive, guys.
All right,
I'm telling you, this is an exclusive because I sit and as a owner and coach, and I talk to our team about this. My job is to think 20, 30 steps ahead. So while others are trying to get to the next tournament, I'm making deals and plans. I'm already in July of next year with our plans and things and all. I see, Debbie, you're right. We're not. But to get your original question, the name came when I started thinking, man, I want to make a difference. I want to change things. How do you change things? I want to come in and I just want to have a revolution. I want to just change things and whatever. And that's how the revolution came up. That was it. I actually talked about someone partnering up. It's like, man, everything is the same around here. Man, we come in, we can just change it. We can make this revolution happen. And so that's truly where the name came.
That's pretty cool.
But yes, so like I said, if I was going to go that route, we'd have been purple.
I love it. I love it.
Mr. Greenhall had straight up. So
that's right.
That's
right.
Yeah, I couldn't go that route.
You can't really do purple. He's been around too long. It's that
nothing wrong with it. I just couldn't do it.
It's him.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, okay.
So
I know you, and I know you've got 467 ideas of the things that you would alter, adjust, or you're like, you would bring new. Give me like 2 things that you're like, you know what? What if we just did this instead? Or, you know what? Why are we doing this? Let's just get rid of that. Look at how much simpler and more enjoyable this would be. What? Just give me 2 things. It doesn't even matter if they're the best, just any 2 things.
Are we talking tournament wise?
Well, apparently not anymore.
Okay.
Oh Lord! Wait, what kind of conversation are we getting in here? Getting on?
Yes. So I'm going to tell you something that I think, and we did it. I think one, trad and open, creative, and whatever should be separate. I just think you can't hodgepodge it and put it all together. I think
what are you talking about?
Have it similar to what we did in NBL, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So just tradition, like this division winner. That's it.
That's trad
winner. That's it.
And in open creative, that's a separate. Don't pull them all together unless you're doing an overall. And even in an overall, but even in an overall, you got to think what's consistently what's winning. You got judges with different backgrounds. You got judges that are looking for the stances that you see in traditional, and you've got the flair, the music, and everything else of the opens. I like the fact that you've got 6 or 7 judges, right? Because then at that point, you know what, it doesn't go to a bias, or it shouldn't go to a bias. But I think keeping those separate will make a difference. I also think, and I'm going to say this, people can get mad. It's okay. It's my opinion. You know what?
Welcome to the show.
I'm going to tell you, we have to eventually, I think we've got to be careful on entry fees to price themselves out of it. And don't get me wrong, I was a promoter, right? The goal is to provide a platform, tournament platform, please your customers, and make some money. Let's be honest. You're trying to make some money. However, if you price yourself to a point, and I remember seeing some comments about, oh, you should plan and this and that. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of why you got to be a little careful of that. If you make it to the last stage or whatever of when you can register, having your first event $100 and every other event at $80,
right,
is pretty tough. Now let's just talk about. I'll give you an example of one of my people. I won't say any names. So they enter 5 events, so that's 100. And then you got 80 times 4 is 320. So that's 420 in entry fees.
Right.
I got to fly to your tournament. Yep. So that's another 500. I got to pay for the $179 room. So that's another $350. So I'm $1,200. I haven't eaten or anything else and whatever. Heaven forbid I got my folks or somebody or whatever. And then that weekend became a $1,200 weekend.
Oh,
and then
more than that. Way more.
Right. And then
it became a $3,500 weekend.
Right. And then based on the spacing of the tournament, you got somebody else's national tournament 2 weeks later. Right. So I think that has to be something that has to be looked at. Again, I can't talk out of anybody's pocket, but it'll get to a point where, you know what, you can price yourself out of the market. And then you've got other leagues that's almost offering the same thing who, $60, $70 and whatever, with willing to give you a discount and all this other stuff, those things become a little attractive. So I think if anything, just to be careful on where your price points are, because you'll end up starting to see that there'll be other opportunities looked at, right?
Well, I actually think it's more detrimental than that. And I'm going to pick up from here. So if you think about it, we used to be very inclusive. We're every man's sport, right?
Yeah.
And listen, if you grew up in the area where I was in Minnesota, right? Hockey is king, right?
Yeah.
Hockey is the most expensive sport on the planet, right?
Right.
And in a state like Minnesota, the most valuable thing in playing hockey is to get ice time, right?
Yes.
This is a true thing. And then I'm going to go and piggyback off of what you were saying. Kids, because I ain't playing no hockey, right? Kids would literally be on the ice at 4:30 in the morning because that's the only time they could get real ice time.
Yeah.
But and my cousin's kids, like they all play hockey, right? They go to like this tournament over here, this tournament over there. The tournaments are really not that expensive, right? It's all up front, right? And it's for a team, it's like, I don't know, $200 for the team to enter, right? And then they go and that's it. So what is it really, right? It's like $6, right? Because here we go. We're entering this tournament, right? Because they understand there's going to be a million people there. So look at what we've just done. We've just priced ourselves out, right? And I remember one of the things when people would say, like, listen, karate, when they would tell me, ooh, that's really expensive, I go, well, you can play hockey.
Right. Yeah. This is good.
Never mind. Right.
Yeah, right.
But I think
the events
there.
are getting super ridiculous.
So
and
now
it's getting harder to charge what you should be charging for your karate or your team program or your private lessons. People are like, I can't afford that because I have to pay $1,500 on this. So
now look at how else. Here's how bad it's going to get. Like I a couple weeks ago, Jeff, I said, listen, in 12 to 15 years, we could be done if we're not careful. Because look at this. If there's nowhere, if I've got, XYZ karate school, and I have a group of talented martial artists that I want to send to a karate tournament, because let's also speak as martial arts professionals here. Karate tournaments, when done right, is student retention, right?
If done right.
If done right, because it actually can go the other way. I know I've lost students because of a tournament, like Mr. Loveless, we quit. I'm like, okay, you don't have to go to tournaments anymore. Nah, we quit karate.
Because now we see what this is like. That's not for us. We're going to take a break. And then they'll tell you, you know what? We'll take a break. We'll come back in the fall, which means see ya.
Yep.
You will never hear from me again. But anyway, so now if everything's priced out so high, we have nothing to give them. So now we're having so many schools, probably more than almost ever before, schools that just are popping up that just do no open competition, right?
Yep.
They're not affiliated with an ATA. They're not affiliated with this. They just don't do anything, right?
Yeah. And if they do, they have in-house tournaments.
Yep.
Exactly.
They have in-house tournaments, and they'll do an in-house tournament, make a few $1,000s, no headache, and it's within it's something. But and even talking about that, I don't want to say changes. I just want to say let's bring attention to what it costs to go to a tournament, and let's be a little bit cognizant of the consumer and all. And the reason why I'm saying that is, so I'm going to call it the evolution of revolution.
Okay.
And the evolution of revolution, is we started a team. And again, guys, I'm saying this sincerely. So my goal was to start a underbelt team with about 10, 15 people. That was my intent. Anybody, if Miss Kowalski is on, she'll tell you that was the intent. I started this new team called Team Rebellion.
Wait, that was the first name?
Team Rebellion. It takes a rebellion to start a revolution.
Awesome. That's the name now. That's the underbelly.
What you're throwing
That's
down.
That's my team.
All right.
And it's our team. I got 75 competitors across the country, Canada, Guatemala. And I was going to do just the underbelt, but I know some people are going to turn into black belts. And the thought is, okay, they turn to black belts. They're not ready to be on Revolution, but we don't want to lose them as part of the rebellion. So I've opened it up. 75. And the great thing is, and I'm going to tell you again, and again, if I seem emotional, when I announced it and some of the instructors started talking to their people, again, I don't mean to be emotional. You got kids that are crying,
right? Not
just being part of the rebellion, but they're associated with revolution. And so now I take a look at that and I say, okay, we've got our winter camp. Our winter camp is the 27th, 28th, and 29th of December. I'll probably have 80
there's no
or
Superman, so might as well.
Correct. I'll have 80, 90 people at this camp, right? I rented a soccer place so I could house everyone, making a deal with the hotel again. And guess what? I'm not making anything on it because we get an opportunity to make a difference. And so now we've got rebellion, we got revolution. And so to me, we have a little buying power to say, hey, listen, if I come to your tournament and I bring you, and think about this, I bring you 60 competitors.
Right.
60 competitors. Right? You know, if we negotiate something or whatever, imagine 60 competitors at a minimum. Yeah. That doesn't include parents, nothing, whatever. That's the little buying power. That's Jeff. You had you had one of the best tournaments around. I get to bring 60 competitors at that cost and whatever. That's about, because most of them average 3-4 divisions. You know what? Just from one team, $10,000. Easy. 10,000. Now you take those 60 competitors and we fast forward to today's prices. That 10 is 15,000 from one person. Right. And now you're getting underbelts, you're getting world-class competitors from our side and all, and the future becomes brighter. And I hope what ends up happening is it inspires others, right? And the next thing you know, we see a sport that we were afraid that might not grow is now growing. Right? And it's feeding your teams and different things like that. So
I love it. That's great.
Now
I love that just that passion and the plan, and I think we're seeing it now, and I'm excited to see what it looks like in the future. One thing I want to talk about though is something, because you've done a great job not just having your team, but also your relationship with your sponsors. Shout them out, but also for people that maybe want to do what you're doing, how does this happen? Where's it start at?
So my very first sponsor was Quan.
Yep.
And the
martial arts gear?
Yes.
Quan. Yes. And their United States headquarters was in Michigan.
Cedar Rapids, right?
Yeah, that's Cedar, Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Grand Rapids, yes. And so that was my very first sponsor. And then we moved towards my second sponsor. And I'm going to give this guy a shout out. I don't think he gets enough credit. You know who took a chance on Revolution? Was ASG, Jason Chen.
Right, that's right.
Jason Chen took a chance on us. And even now, I still, even though, you know what, we're not with him, I still shout him out because he took a chance on us and he didn't. He really didn't. And that's when he had Impex and Proper, and you start naming all the top teams. And here we are on the upcom. We're doing okay, but he took a chance on us. It took me 18 years. It took me 18 months. 18 months. I never gave up of calling and writing and calling and writing. And finally, I got a conversation with Century. 18 months, I never gave in, never gave up. And that was just to talk. And then I finally got to talk to the next person. And the guy says, we're going to keep it short. I just want you to know that I typically get 10,000 requests for sponsorship. And I'm just letting you know that you're the only person that I've talked to this year.
Wow.
And from there, the relationship has been awesome. Flip Your Lid, where he's another person that
cool dude.
that did not have to take a chance, and he took a chance on us. Our newest sponsor is My Studio.
Yep.
We signed a 2-year deal with My Studio. So My Studio is a software that runs your schools.
Yeah.
Somebody else who took a chance on us, I got to give him a shout out. I hope My Studio doesn't get upset. Was my Uventex.
Yeah.
Moshe took a chance on us. He didn't have to. Again, we weren't that big. Our social media hadn't grown. Like, our social media is about 270,000 followers on Instagram. But it was before then, and he took a chance. So,
all right, I'm going to pause right there. Why do you think you have had so much success where others have not, in the sense of getting these relationships with sponsors?
So one of the greatest things that I'm going to tell anybody that's listening, that will listen in the future, for all of the success that you've seen, you don't understand the hard work, the no's, not interested. You guys aren't this, and you haven't that. Nobody knows my heart, my passion. No one knows what this means to me. So no is just another opportunity for somebody else to say yes. And that's my thought. Just like this thing, I'm going to show it again. Guys, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to be, continue to drive and do, because I think what we're doing makes a difference. And it's not just,
you know what? Like JPM used to have the hairspray bottle on the pants. You should have the tequila bottle.
All right. Yeah, come out. Not everybody can have all that. Maybe for adults only. Adults only.
We had a cool light uniform. We had a cool Budweiser. Why can't we? It's the revolution.
Correct. But to your point, it is, nobody knows. Hey guys, I'll give you an example. I got home from Diamonds Sunday morning, and I had 6 meetings that day on revolution, rebellion, ordering, potential sponsorship, people that we talk, and I'm just telling you, no one can stop me. No one can stop me. The only one that can stop me is me and God, and that's it, right? So we've got a lot of great people in our corner. These, whether you guys believe this or not, these conversations that we have to talk about the future, to talk about the opportunities. Again, we spent so much time talking about how to make this better. These are the things that will help build us. And I keep saying us because this sport is bigger than one team, one person, whatever. But these are the conversations, Alex and Jeff, that will help build our sport and help us grow.
Yes, sir. I love this, man.
Well, in regards to the team, you've done a fantastic job with having a few anchor spots, like just anchors for the team. Like, I mean, Kaylin Kowalski, are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah, she's okay.
Who wouldn't want her on their team, right? Edgar Cordova, man. And then here's the thing, is I don't know that a bunch of teams would have picked up Edgar and let him be Edgar. I don't know that a bunch of teams would have. I think they might have just been like, you can come on, but like we got this taken care of. But like you picked up Edgar and then let Edgar be Edgar, and then really be like helping be a manager and team coach, right? He's team coach, right? Isn't he?
Right. He's one of the team. He's one of the team coaches. There's Kyle Reed.
Yeah.
There's Kyle Reed. There's Edgar. There's Tracy Armstead, and then I've got the 3 captains. But that's part of the plan.
Right.
So let me give you one of the great things, and Jeff talks about it, and I talked to Wesley and others. You don't understand before an offer is made how we sit back and observe, watch how people move. Alex, let's talk about Alonzo, right?
Oh, yeah,
when that happened, cool, right?
Yeah.
It's a sit back. You never saw it coming. But
here's what I will say. The way he was fighting after he went through like 3 rounds, I'm like, oh, someone going to talk to somebody. I don't know if it's going to be today, but it might be in a few weeks. Somebody's talking to someone. Right?
But he was on the radar already. He was on the radar already. So yes. And that's
now that I did not know.
He was on the radar. So let me give you this. And Jeff, you know it and all. It's easy to pick up somebody when they're hot and on fire, right? That's when everybody starts trying to grab and different things like that. But the thought is, I'll give you Jimena as an example. When I approached Jimena, I saw something in Jimena. Guess what? When I asked her to be on the team, Jimena had just came in 8th place at the U.S. Open. Who picks somebody up like that? Who approaches somebody that just came in 8th place, right? But I'm like, I see some stuff in her. And then the next thing you know, she caught fire. And then she went through a streak where she didn't, right? She wasn't winning. And every time she come up, she says, Mr. Loveless, I'm so sorry. I'm letting you down. I'm like, I never picked you up just for what you were going to do. I picked you up for the future, right? It's going to happen. If I ask you to be on the team, we believe in you, right? And sure enough, winning started to happen, different things like that. But that's the loyalty that we should have with our team members and all. Believe in them when they're up, down, whatever. But don't throw them to the side and kick them to the curb because they go through a dry spell and whatever, right? We have to lift those guys up. So
that is the key point right there, because there's so many teams where the competitor, fighter or forms competitor, where they might feel like they're on a hot seat. Like, you can't do that. Man, I got to beat, I don't know. I got to beat a Presley. Like, you kidding me? This is the best form I've ever done in my entire life. It's freaking Cole Presley. The hell am I going to do? You know, it might be something like that. I don't know. Right. Or you fight your butt off. Right. But I mean, you run into Avery, you know, who's just Avery. And maybe you take them, you know, to within 2. Right. It gets people turning heads. That might be the best fight of your life. And on other teams. Right. If you just look at like box scores, that's what irritates me about people who watch basketball. They don't actually watch basketball. They just look at the scores. We're like, you have no idea what the game is. Right. It's the same thing. You have no idea what the game is if you're just looking at results. Right. You have to really take it into consideration. And I'll use my homeboy right here, Jeff. All right. If you just looked at the end results of the Diamond Nationals, you would have missed one of the great forms that Jeff did in the finals, right? If all you did was just look at the results, you totally miss it. You miss everything, right? So I feel like members on your team feel that. They're like, I'm here. And that's where we feel the most comfortable, because where you go, if you were on a team and then you're not, what do? You go with your people, the people that you train with, the people that you're tight with. Where if you lay an egg, they're gonna be like, dude, you screwed the heck up. What are you doing? Just sitting there. Like you faked and then froze. Of course you were gonna get hit. Get over here, let's go get a drink. Right? And you hang, right? You don't give them the cold shoulder, right? You talk with them. And of course there's gonna be a certain amount of, all right, man, you gotta step it up. Here's some ways. Now let's come over here and hang. Right? Because you know that there's security with your spot on the team. And that's so valuable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but let me give you this where we move a little different. Everything you said is correct, but I'm going to tell you where we move a little different. Whatever happened at that tournament is a minute conversation. It's not continuing to blast you, continue to talk about this, that, and whatever. If I say something, hey, listen, got to go back to the office. You got to go work out. Let's get it going. We got you, and it's over. And the one thing, and I'm going to knock on wood, is I've never had to talk to someone about them training and pushing them. Like we do Zoom meetings, and I have a meeting with the team once a month. We talk about things, whatever, we plan, whatever. I don't know if a lot of teams do that. I have to do that because, again, we're in the different countries and whatever.
Right.
And then they govern themselves. Imagine that. The fighters, competitors govern themselves. They'll call each other
for a while.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? I haven't seen anything on you working out, right? And the next thing you know, these guys are talking. Hey, I haven't seen it. Guess what? We're working out tomorrow. Hey, guys, I'm doing a Zoom. Next thing you know, 15 of these guys are working out together. And think about that. We're 50-something people in 9 different countries, and these guys are pushing each other to get better, right? And I like that they're not ragging and bitching and moaning and complaining. They're like, hey, I'll set up something. Let's work out together. How cool is that, guys? That's
awesome,
again,
man.
if I sound passionate, it's because what we built as a culture, right?
Yeah.
And on our Team Rebellion, that culture is going to be the same thing. It's got to be, right?
Definitely,
it's got to feed into.
But you're leading it the right way. You know what I mean? You're giving a great example. So it's easier to replicate when you have something to do that, right? So awesome, man. Awesome. Culture is key, like Chelsea says. Great job. Conell, this has been a great show, man. This has been an awesome time. I gotta get on a plane a little bit. I guess I'll see you down there. Hopefully,
you'll see me in Miami. I leave at 3 o'clock. I get there at 6. Hey, for those that are going, I'm going to give you something. We're going to get in. Most of us will be in tomorrow right around 6. Hit me up. We're going to go see Black Panther. I'm dropping the mic.
All right.
Wait a minute. Did you just invite the tournament?
I don't care.
To see Black Panther with you?
Listen, the more the merrier.
Why not? That would be fun. Take up the whole
thing. I'm going to have to do one more thing. I believe tomorrow is Edgar Cordova's birthday.
It's his birthday, so we going to have a good party.
We about to turn it out. I'm telling
you. Edgar is one of the guys where you look at him and you can't tell, right? Is he 31 or is he 51? And you don't know. It could be anywhere in the middle, right? Yes. And you're like, listen, clearly, look at you, Edgar. You're a physical specimen. You're on top of the world. You're killing it. But you also look like the most interesting man in the world, right?
Yes.
Someone needs to get a picture of Edgar
like
in a Dos Equis bottle. That needs to happen.
Oh, wait. Man. Hey, Edgar. It's coming.
Oh, God.
It's coming. Adults only, though.
Man.
This is a disclaimer. Adults only. This is a disclaimer.
Man, this Debbie putting no cartwheels on. We could do another 30 minutes about funny shenanigans after your tournament, but we don't need it. We don't have time for all that. We didn't even talk about tournaments.
We don't want to talk about funny shenanigans at Doug Armstrong.
No,
we can't.
This will be for the second time. This will be for the listen, you're just on the first time.
That's right. This is going to be another one. It'll be soon. It'll be again.
Okay, let's do this one. Next time we're on, we can only talk about it to a certain degree. But if we talk about after tournament shenanigans,
oh man, I don't know. Are you sure you want to do that?
I don't know, man. Dougie Doug.
Listen.
There's got to be a line, but after tournament shenanigans.
Because I'll tell you this: when you said listen, we were in the hotel lobby of the Diamonds, right, till like 11 o'clock. All right. I'm like, man, there's been a lot of things that have happened in hotel lobbies of tournaments, right? So
yes. Speaking of that, yeah, that stuff's for Patreon. So let me just put that little plug in there.
yeah,
Join our Patreon.com main network.
I'm down with that.
And maybe we'll do an after show on that one sometime.
That'd be true. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
All right, so you guys are all going to Pan Am's, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, it's gonna be a cool one. That's cool. All right.
Yes.
Hopefully there's no like chaotic weather. I know that there was like some like questions if there was gonna be. So that's
We'll
Lindsay
see.
said she can supply for this.
I think it's supposed to hit. It's supposed to hit early in the morning. It's supposed to hit the morning. It's supposed to miss Miami and those things. So we'll see. And that's why most of us are leaving on Thursday, just in case. So we're there on Friday.
Yep. Same here. Yeah. My flight.
Shout out to Manny and Pan Am's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, the
Solid
revolution
dude.
is coming, man. Always solid. Definitely dig that dude.
Awesome. Thank
Solid
you,
dude.
Conell.
Good luck,
right,
Manny.
Alex.
Hope the event is
right.
good. This
Thanks,
has
guys,
been
for
another
having me.
episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Thanks, Conell.
All right. Thanks, guys.